and welcome to Mystical Frequency. I am your host, Jen, and I'm also known as Celestial Light Witch. I am a professional tarot reader, tarot teacher, and spiritual practitioner. This podcast is all things spirituality, the occult, and esoteric. Each week, I offer collective readings. Some weeks we will share space with others in the spiritual space and discuss mystical topics to explore our experiences and practices. No practice ever looks the same, and that is the beauty of sharing our unique frequency, like our voices. I'm excited to share this space with you and open our minds together through this journey called life. Now on to the show. Hello and welcome to Mystical Frequency. My name is Jen. My pronouns are they, them, she, and I'm also known as Celestial Light Witch. Welcome back to the pod. I am very excited for today's episode. We're going to be shifting a little bit of what I normally do for this Pick a Pile collective weekly reading for the week of February 22nd through the 28th. So this is to finish off the month of February of 2026, which is crazy that we're already diving into March. Like, I'm turning 35 in April, which is bonkers, but I'm very excited. But before we get into our collective reading, I did want to talk about, I think I want to start doing this on the podcast. I want to start talking about topics that are kind of happening in the realm of maybe spirituality, astrology. I'm a very unexperienced I can't call myself an astrologer at all because I just don't think I am anywhere near becoming an astrologer. I have taken classes, but I feel like astrology is such a practice that is so expansive and it takes so much dedication and it takes so much studying that I am just not ready to dive into it. Like, I've taken astrology classes and I'm pretty well versed in astrology, but I'm nowhere near where I need to be to even call myself an astrologer. But I did want to talk about the Neptune and Saturn conjunct Aries that has happened. And I want to talk about this because it is going to and has affected me directly immensely. And this is because I am an Aries, as some of you may know, some of you may not know. And I have a lot of prominent Aries placements. And so Saturn is also a planet that I'm very familiar with. I am very Saturn ruled in my birth chart. I have a lot of Capricorn in my birth chart. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the topics. I do have some notes here. And so yeah, Neptune entered Aries January 26th of 2026, and that's making it a beginning of a 13-year cycle. So this isn't going to end until 2039, which is crazy. It sounds like it's so far away from now, which it is, but that's a very long time for a transit. And a lot of people, I feel like I've had and heard a lot of mixed emotions about all of this that's transpiring and all of this that's happening. But I honestly feel like we need this shift as a collective, especially as Americans in the United States. The state of the world is quite literally just scary, and let alone the United States, the state of the United States. So I really feel like this is going to be very beneficial. A lot of people give Saturn such a bad rep, but I do want to state that Saturn means well. You know, we call him Daddy Saturn because he teaches us lessons. He teaches us what is right and wrong. And it is a very karmic planet. And I do feel like we are in the midst of needing to have karma take its place in a sense. So a lot of people are saying that Aries placements, prominent Aries placements, are entering a villain era, if you will, and I'm here for it. And I have noticed a shift in me personally with boundaries, with standing my ground, stating my truths, and being very unapologetic to the things that I stand very firm on. And so, if that makes me be in my villain era, then I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. And I hope that if you have prominent Aries placements, even if you don't, I hope you step into this energy of your villain era because there's nothing more beautiful than embodying boundaries and embodying self-love and protection of yourself. I think there's nothing wrong with that. So I really want you to embody that this week and for the remainder of the year and for however long you feel like it serves you. Other themes in the realm of this Neptune and Aries are going to be like very action-oriented spirituality. So you're going to be seeing a lot more in-person workshops, in-person events where people are gonna want to be in connection and in community with one another. So this is a beautiful theme. I think this is something we need, especially post-COVID. Like COVID was 6 years ago, and I feel like we are starting to I'm already starting to see this new level of community wanting to come forth, which I am all here for. Also, this theme of the Neptune and Aries represents rebirth of self. So Aries is the first zodiac of all. So it is very on theme for reinventing yourself, very much being a new version of yourself that you haven't been before. So that's a common theme for Neptune and Aries, as well as there is also going to be collective shifts in the realm of sports, technology, pharmaceuticals, and environmental patterns, which can be good, can be bad. I guess we will find out. Obviously, environmental patterns can be a little alarming. You know, if you believe in climate control and all those things, I feel like it's very important for us to really um, I don't know, just like be aware of all those things happening. And then we're also going to be seeing a cultural change. So shifting again, shifting from online to in person in real life situations. So I really am excited about that because I feel like community and connection with other people is something that really is grounding and it makes you be more present with other people. And lastly, the last theme is going to be you're going to start seeing people going through their spiritual awakenings or connecting to if it's not spirituality, it's going to be like religion. It's going to be anything in the occult, anything that has to do with the 12th house, which is of the subconscious mind, spirituality, belief systems. So we're going to see an uprise of all those things. I feel like 2020, we saw an uprise of that. And I feel like we're going to start to see that even more in the next 10 plus years. So I just thought I'd share that with you all. I always want to do kind of like a little like conversation piece in the beginning of these readings because I don't want to just jump into readings. But on that note, we're gonna jump into the reading. This week I switched it up a little bit for you all. I went ahead and just wrote down every zodiac sign in this beautiful ceramic cup that I actually got at a market. This is from Dacia. She's an incredible ceramic artist. I will link her information in the description of the podcast if you're interested in checking it out. But I just wanted to use her beautiful cup that I got at one of the markets I was doing tarot at. And I basically just put every zodiac sign in a piece of paper here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull 4 signs per pile. And I would recommend you choose the pile based off your rising sign. If for some reason you don't know your rising sign, it's totally okay to do it based off your sun sign, but I always recommend doing it based off of your rising sign. Again, you're more than welcome to just listen to each pile and see which one resonates the most for you. I'm just trying something different this week. Let me know if you like it. And I'm also going to be shuffling during the reading as to in comparison to the last 2 weeks I was pulling the cards prior to. So let me know how you like this rhythm, and hopefully you don't mind ASMR shuffling of the cards. If that's bothersome, please let me know too. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling the four zodiac signs for pile number one. All right, I think I got four. Yes. Okay. So the first one that we got for pile number one is Cancer. Oops. And then next we have Capricorn, Scorpio, and Aries. So I think this is going to be my pile. So let's see. Spirit, can you please get a pick a pile for the collective? And spirits, can you please get two cards for pile number one, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, or Scorpio? Okay, I got the Knight of Pentacles and the Double. All right. So what this is telling me automatically, I'm getting, and I'm gonna have to cover the double card. But the double card is all about feeling trapped or feeling like you can't get out of a cyclical space. Maybe a space of like toxicity, toxic cycles, toxic ways of thinking, addictive tendencies, things of that sort. And for me, it almost feels like you are kind of trying to get a different outcome, but you're not shifting the energy. You're not doing anything differently to change the outcome. So I really want to encourage you this week to kind of just spice things up this week and change up maybe your routine, maybe add something to your routine that you normally don't do, because it almost feels like, yeah, like this energy feels like you just can't get yourself out of the same cyclical space and you want to. Like there's a subconscious little inkling that you carry within yourself that you're just like, I know I need to kind of break out of this, but I'm far too comfortable. And this can also do with like maybe you waiting for something and like you're not doing anything about it because it almost feels like, ugh, what is the point of me doing anything about it if it's not even coming? And it almost feels like it's not coming. But with the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles literally is the slowest moving knight of all. Pentacles moves so incredibly slow, but there's movement happening because there is a horse. I mean, this horse is standing still, but that doesn't mean that there's no movement happening. So it almost feels like, there's an illusion of change not wanting to kind of happen, but it is happening. You just may not be seeing it right now. So there's almost like this level of impatience of like wanting something to come forth and you not necessarily like remembering that. Pile number one, I really want you to, again, switch things up on your routine, switch things up with the way your mental state is, and really get out of like limiting beliefs or maybe like, and get yourself out of toxic ways of thinking. And I know it's easier said than done, but I really want to encourage you to kind of just like put aside the things that don't serve you right now and know that even if it feels like nothing's happening, there is movement happening. And you just have to really try to believe that this week. So that is your reading, pile number one. All right, next we have pile number two. Let's see. So for pile number two, we have Gemini and Aquarius. Two more. And then we got Virgo and Leo. All right, so pile number two again is Gemini, Aquarius, Virgo, or Leo. All right, Spirit, can we please get two cards for Virgo, Leo, Aquarius, and Gemini? Oh, cute. Okay. All right, so pile number two. This is a fun reading. The Page of Cups is always a very fun card for me because It is very curious. It is very playful. It wants to play around. It wants to explore. It wants to do creative things. It wants to have fun. The Page of Cups, out of like all the pages, I find to be the least serious page because he's almost like, you know how he's just wearing flamboyant apparel. So that to me is just, to me, it screams soft, creative, happy, go lucky type of energy. So I really want to encourage you to do that. And in combination with the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands is literally about traveling and like moving, unexpected change, shifting something unexpected. It's almost asking you to go on a spontaneous trip, do something unexpected, do something playful, do just go somewhere, do something fun, be in a space of innocence, do something creative, go take a class, go to a paint and sip, go do something that is going to bring you happiness and emotionally fulfill you in some way or capacity. So that is your reading pile number two. And lastly, we have our last four signs. We have Libra, Sag, Pisces, and Taurus. All right, let's see what we have for pile number three. All right, Spirit, what does pile number three need to hear? Ooh, okay, you're going through it. Pile number three. We got we got the Seven of Cups and we got the Eight of Swords. So you're in your head, my love. You are just overwhelmed with feeling, emotion, having to make decisions. You could be facing having to make a lot of decisions and you might be confused. You could be in a place of clouded judgment and this is due to you being really stuck in your headspace. Again, whenever I see a blindfolded figure in the tarot, that to me is a symbol of being trapped in your head space and not being grounded. And that is why you are being feeling almost like this haze with having to make decisions for yourself. It almost feels like you are almost paralyzed with making these decisions because you're so much in your head about it. So this week, pile number three, I really want you to go outside, put your feet in the ground, ass to grass, put your feet in the grass and really ground down. Or if you can't find grass, if you're somewhere where it's like snowing or something, get in the bath. Do something that is grounding to you so that you can get out of your headspace. The headspace, I know that is like where we feel the safest because we think logic is safer than our intuition. That's something we've been programmed to believing. But in reality, our best judgment comes from our intuition. So, in order for you to make the right decisions this week, especially if you have to make a lot of decisions this week, is to really ground down, my love, really nurture yourself and prioritize getting grounded because that's really going to help you with this clouded judgment. It's also going to help you get out of your headspace and out of this paralyzed feeling. So that is your reading, pile number three. So that is the collective reading for, again, the last week of February, February 22nd through the 28th. Thank you so much for being here. If you found this reading helpful in any which way, please share this with your friend, with your cousin, with your aunt, whoever it is that you feel would appreciate this collective reading of the week. It really helps out my podcast. I do everything myself. I film, record, edit, produce, market it, everything. I do everything by myself and I wanted to continue doing it. So the best way for you to support my podcast, if you enjoy it, is to share. Share, leave a comment, rate it on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, wherever it is that you listen to my podcast, on YouTube. And again, tell a friend and let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about future weeks. I am very open to discussing things. I know in the past, I've did episodes on certain topics. I didn't do this pick a pile type of situation. So if you want me to do a particular topic, the only thing you gotta do is literally DM me at Celestial Light Witch on Instagram. I'm not really on TikTok anymore, but you can also email me at celestiallightwitch@gmail.com. And what else? I think that's going to be it for the week. I hope you all enjoyed the reading of the week, and I hope to see you again next week for a whole new show. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Mystical Frequency. Be sure to rate, follow, subscribe to the podcast, and share it with someone you love. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram at Celestial Light Witch. And if you would like to book a private reading or healing, visit my website, celestiallightwitch.com. Tune in next week for a whole new show.